Hello, and welcome to my new series on Data Services Manager version 2.2. In this particular post, we're going to look at a new feature which enables the cross-cluster deployments of databases. So in my vSphere environment, I have 3 clusters, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new cross-cluster infrastructure policy across all 3 clusters. So I select all 3 clusters as part of the compute resources. These are all vSAN clusters, so I'm going to pick the vSAN storage policy. I need to have a distributed switch that spans all 3 clusters as well. So I'm going to pick that one there, and of course an IP pool where we can pick IP addresses for the databases that we are going to deploy. Some other housekeeping then, basically which folder I'm going to use and which VM classes I'm going to make available to my data admins. It all looks good. I am going to go ahead and create that policy. And the policy is now ready. Great. We can log into the DSM portal as shown here. So I'm going to go in with admin permissions, and I'm going to go ahead and build a PostgreSQL database to use my new cross-cluster policy. So I select the database version. 16.6 is a new version available with DSM 2.2. I will pick that. I will give the instance a name, and the database name picks up the same as the instance name. I'm not going to do any LDAP. I'm not going to add any DNS or add custom certs. What I am going to do is I'm going to pick a new deployment topology now, which is the cross vSphere cluster deployment. I'm not going to do replication. We'll do that in a future post. I'll show you that new feature. And the rest is pretty much the same as before with many other database deployments that you might have seen with DSM. I will pick one of my VM classes for my node sizes. I will leave the storage policy as is. I will leave the disk size as is. Checking the maintenance window, I will leave that at the default as well. Database options, I can add parameters here for my database, but I'm not going to. And similarly, I have a new feature called HBA configuration, which we will look at in a future post as well. I can now go ahead and create my database. And of course, that will take probably somewhere in the region of 10 minutes, but I'm going to speed things along and show you what's actually happened under the covers. So there's all the details about my database that I've just deployed. You can see that it's a cross vSphere cluster topology. We can see the different virtual machines associated with that. And now if I look back on my vSphere client, I can see that there's a node for the database deployed across each of the different clusters, and I can see the different tasks associated with them there, the creating of the virtual machine, the adding of the storage, and so on. Great. So that's pretty much it. We can go back now to the DSM UI. We can look at some other things to do with the infrastructure policy, the maintenance window, and of course, pick up the connection string. Great. So if you're interested in learning more about DSM, pop along to my blog site, cormachogan.com. I have a full section on all things related to Data Services Manager right there. So, thank you for watching this first video in the series. There's many more to follow.